Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on a Saturday morning. My name is Narendran. I'm part of the strategy team here at Strata, and today we have a rather interesting topic to discuss, which is careers after retirement. To do that, I have with me Deepali and Ambuj from Wisdom Circle. Now, before we get into it and we start the introductions, I just want to give a little bit of context about why we decided to do this session, right? So I remember 10 years ago, back when I was in college, there was a statistic on the average age of Indians, and I believe it was less than 30. And very recently, I came across another stat that said that now the average age is over 30. What this means is that as a country, we are growing older. We are no longer expanding our population. We have pretty much reached our peak. And as the years go by, we will now become progressively an older society, right? And so that is at the wider level, and that also got me to thinking that as a country, as we grow older, we need to reprioritize. We will at least for another 20 odd years still be a young country, but we are getting in that stage, right? And also something that happened more personally is my father retired last year. He had been with the railways for more than 30 years, and after retirement, the man was a little helpless and clueless as to figure out exactly what he's supposed to do now. I found him extremely bored. And as the boredom crept in, it turned into irritation and it turned into um, behaviors which were not great for my mom or for myself, right? And it's not that he's at fault, it is simply that he simply struggled to transition from waking up every day, going to work, getting things done, to now suddenly waking up and realizing he has nothing to do. And Very recently, he found a job as a consultant for the Chennai Metro Rail. And that is again when I realized that he had transformed back to his old self, right? He had found purpose again. Now, that's kind of where this all started. And today we will be discussing more about exactly why it is important to think about having a second career after you retire, whether it is full time or whether it is half time, or whether you do it as and when you please. And that's the context for today. So to talk about this, I have with me today Deepali. Deepali is a chemical engineer by profession, but that is just one facet of her extremely long and interesting career. She was with Egon Zendler, as a consultant. After that, she got into a family business. She was where she scaled up the company. She made a lot of performance improvements. And after that, she was also on the board of multiple companies. And as of now, she is with Wisdom Circle, where she is part of the accounts division. Dipali, welcome to Strata Circle. So happy to have you here. Uh, I'm sorry if maybe I missed out some of what you've already accomplished. Maybe you can just give a little bit of a more introduction, and then we can begin.
Sure. Thank you so much, Narendran, for having me here. And good morning to you, friends. It's fantastic to be here on a Saturday morning and discuss something that is so close to my heart and so resonates with me. Narendran, you introduced me really well, but it's not so fancy, let me tell you. So, I'm a chemical engineer by education and not so much by profession because I hated it. Okay. I was so much into organizations and people that I just didn't want to be, with machines and chemicals. And that's the reason I joined Egon Zender. I was the head of research actually, and I led the market research function over there, supporting the consultants. After a point, I had to join my family business, which my husband was into. I worked with him for a few years, almost a decade. I helped him set up processes, etc., trying to make it more professional run organization, against a mom and pop kind of organization. And then what happened actually was COVID struck, and we all were at home, right? So, initially it was like, okay, you're at home, you're trying to live a life which is without maids and stuff like that. And when the lockdown signs sort of opened up, I thought, oh, that's a great opportunity. I'd always decided I'm going to retire at, 40, 45, and it's a great opportunity for me to retire. And I was like, great, let us retire. Husband goes back to work, son goes back to the university overseas, and I have nothing to do in life, right? There's a huge vacuum. I mean, what do? You get up, you do a little bit of gardening, you go out with your friends, you do a little bit of Zumba and yoga and meditation. But if you've been, for last 25, 30 years of your life, getting up and going to work, one fine day you don't have to go to work, it's very, very difficult. And trust me on that. And that's when, Neeraj, who was my colleague at Egon Zender, called me up and said, hey, listen, this is what I'm starting. Do you want to join? Trust me, I didn't even ask him, what do you want me to do? I said, hey, Neeraj, when do I start? That was the only question. And from there, so this was somewhere early January. To date, I'm just doing so many things at Wisdom Circle. It's been like a roller coaster ride, work with a startup. So that was a brief introduction as to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Now, again, Narendra, Narendra, you mentioned about your dad, who retired and, he was like struggling what to do. So, and you also mentioned about this research that you came across that the average age of Indians was 30 and now it's way beyond 30. Not only Indians, globally, if you go to see, the average age today of people is really, really shooting up. Okay. So we all are living a longer life. Like if you go to see our grandparents, they kind of were tired and, at 60, they looked their age. Today, you can't make out a person who's 60 or 70-year-old because, the lifespan has gone up. But the problem is that we need to stay healthy throughout this lifespan. So that's a bigger problem we have to tackle at this stage. So the quality of life should not go down. Okay, and that's what we are trying to really work at Wisdom Circle, or that should be our aim and objective. That even if you're at 60 or 70, you need to be up and about like a youngster or what you were at 21 or 31. So that's more important. Uh, and what happens, if you don't do something like that, is the cognitive decline starts happening. So as they say, that every muscle of your body needs to be exercised, and you exercise your legs, your hands, and your arms, everything else. How do you exercise your brain? So again, I also had some research, and I read that research, and there were a couple of things that I came across. So apparently, if you want to have just contain the cognitive decline, you need to learn a new language, which really is very helpful apparently. Or the other thing is you learn to play a new musical instrument. So these two things apparently are very helpful. The third thing is to get actively engaged. Keep your brain actively engaged with things that you are doing for the first 30, 40 years of your life. Hobbies are great. It's really great to have a hobby, but hobby is a hobby. It's not work. And of course, there are a few people who are very lucky who can make their hobby into their work, but most of us are not that lucky. So we may take up singing as a hobby, we may take up gardening as a hobby, right? But gardening for most of us is a hobby. If it wasn't hobby, we would have become farmers, right? But we are not. We are professionals. We've worked in the corporate environment, right? So that's the reason your hobby remains a hobby. And if you only take certain part of the time of your day, you do have 12 hours that are waking hours. And the hobby is going to take a couple of hours. What do you do for the rest of it? That's the whole thing. So do you want me to take a pause or break over here, or you want me to continue? So then I'm not able to hear you.
You can hear me now?
Sure. Yes,
Great.
I can.
Great. So I think now is the time we should start the presentation. And for that, we have Ambuj Saxena, also from Wisdom Circle here with us. Ambuj, I believe you will be able to share the screen, yes?
Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Great. Folks, while we are doing that, I have a short poll that I'm going to launch. Just two questions. You will see them on the screen now. Just answer them. The first one is, what is your age? And the second one is, are you retired? I just wanted to put this out to understand exactly what is our audience composed of today. I'll just give another 10, 15 seconds for everyone to finish.
Narendran, should I be a part of this poll? Because
Oh, go for it. Go for it, please.
Because I'm above 50.
Yes. Okay, great. So I think pretty much everyone has participated. So I'm gonna end the poll and I'm gonna share the results for everyone to see. And as you can see, we have more than 63% of our audience today are over the age of 50. and but only 34% have retired, and the other remaining 66 are still employed in some format or the other. That is interesting. But I think, Deepali, you have the right cohort of audience here today to listen to us, because most of them are in the 40, 50, and the 50 and above bracket, where it is now time to start considering what you're going to do after your current job is over, or you hand off your existing business and you want the next generation to take over. So what do you do next, right? So with that, I think we can begin the presentation.
Sure. So I thought I should just introduce you quickly to Wisdom Circle. Wisdom Circle, let's say why this came into happening, right? So Neeraj Sagar, as I explained to you earlier, was my colleague, my boss at Egon Zender. And when we were at Egon Zender, we used to place people at very senior roles, the CXO levels. And people used to come back to Neeraj and say, hey, Neeraj, this is great that you're doing for us, but there will be a point of time in our life when we will retire. And what do we do at that point? There are only so many board positions that are there, right? So some of us may get board positions, but what happens to the others? What if I don't get, inducted into a board? I need to do something. And Neeraj used to keep that in mind and say, hey, let me do something about this. And when he was about to retire, he said, let me look at this and let me do something for this generation. And what we call them is a wisdom generation or WisGen. These are people who are typically above 50 years of age, about to retire or have taken an early retirement or have retired, reaching superannuation. And Neeraj kind of said, okay, let me first put together a tech platform where these people can actually sign up. An organization can also sign up, and then we can do a matchmaking. So he spent some time actually putting together, a team that could put together the platform and everything. It was only during September last year where we actually opened the platform for people to sign up, as well as for organizations also to sign up and start hiring from us. Uh, that's how we started. We are almost like a year old, technically, or maybe a year and a half if you were to really see where from the day we started per se. Ambuj, can we go to the next slide? Right. So what are we trying to do here? So we are building the world's and the most trusted platform for retired professionals. And let me tell you, we today are for India's largest platform for retirees. Okay. So for any retired person who wants to find a job, we are one of the largest platforms. Today we have 25,000 or more than 25,000, because every day we are adding more people, retired folks. Again, like the numbers, everything with it, who are there on a platform and who are trying to find meaningful engagements for themselves. And this is our little mascot, Wiz the turtle, because he represents longevity and also represents wisdom. Can we go to the next slide, Amar? So as I was just mentioning, we call these retired people WisGen, or the wisdom generation. They've retired from their professional full-time work, but they also want to give back and they want to share their knowledge and wisdom to the world, right? So again, these are people who, say, for example, if there's a finance professional, he's been in finance for the last 30 years or whatever, 25 years, and now wants to train new finance professionals to become, to kind of take over and be the next great finance professionals. It could be marketing professionals, it could be sales professionals, it could be human resource admin professionals, right? So these are our WisGen. So what we're trying to address is basically on two pillars. Pillar one is staying professionally relevant. And what I meant by that is the same thing, that, this is really something that I want to be engaged in for the next 5 years or 10 years of my life. Maybe not in a full-time capacity. It could be a part-time capacity, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever. But I want to continue doing something that I'm great at and I have been doing for so many years. That's the first pillar. And pillar number two is giving back, right? So I have earned so much, and I'm not talking about the money or the financial aspect of it, but so much knowledge, so much of experience. This is my way of giving back to the society by creating a team of leaders who will now take this profession ahead. So I'm giving back to my profession, I'm giving back something professionally, right? How much next slide, please? So these are some of our partners. These are some of the organizations that are hiring from us. You can see we have all sorts of organizations here. We have professional organizations, the corporates, We also have some education, and we also education or edutech organizations, and we also have some social impact organizations. Because a lot of people want to give back in a way that they want to build capacities for these social impact organizations. You know, and these social impact organizations also need professionals, right? And some of these are paid jobs. Okay, so even though they are with social impact organizations, these still are the paid as well as volunteering roles. So yeah, the next slide. We just quickly, before we start the process of how one can enroll, is there any question or anything that you want me to specifically address, Narendra?
I think before we just jump in into the platform itself, right, which I believe will be a little straightforward, maybe we can talk about just exactly w- a little bit more about exactly why it is that this is so important, right? We
Yeah,
did, you did touch upon the point of cognitive, maintaining your cognitive capabilities, but
yeah,
maybe if we can just get a little bit more deeper into that, just to understand. Maybe you can share some of your anecdotes from people you've worked with on exactly
right.
why it is that they're doing this, right?
Sure, sure. So as I was just explaining, this is a platform, right? On one hand, we have, of course, people who want to get engaged and they sign up, etc. Now let's look at the other end of the spectrum. There are organizations who need these kind of people as well, right? So for example, we were working with an organization. I was talking to the head of HR of this organization, and he tells me that, Deepali, we are into wind turbines, right? So we do like buy land, this, that. But by the time somebody comes on board, like a project manager, and really starts work on this whole, project, we lose almost 6 months. And that's like the starting 6 months is a very important time frame for a project. Can we have a solution for that? And then he said, okay, is it possible to get somebody interim? And that's exactly what happened. We found somebody who can come over and can start, really doing the groundwork for this project, right? So when you are issued the project, they needed somebody who could come in and who could just pave the way for the project manager to come in, right? So he started with come acquiring the land, or even talking to the villagers, the farmers, creating all the infrastructure required, the small roads, this, that, etc. So when the project manager actually came into place, he could hit the ground running from day one, and you're not losing time. Similarly, there was this WisGen that I was discussing with. He's been in IT for all his life. He's done IT transformation, digitalization, and all that stuff for most part of his life. And we were just talking when I was onboarding him, and he says, Dipali, you know what? I enjoyed every bit of my work. But the part of going and presenting to the board and getting the buy-in from all the different business units, just convincing them used to really very tiring for me. It was really, how long could I just go on convincing people that you need this technology and you need that technology? That was a part I didn't enjoy, but the tech part of it is something that I really enjoy. So I was like, okay, great. It so happened that I was talking to another organization, and the CHRO happens to be a good friend, and she said, Dipali, we have grown by actually acquiring different organizations, right? So right now we are a khichdi of sorts with 3-4 different organizations. Each has its own process, each is following its own IT, each is following its technology. And at this point, we want to consolidate all of this. So can you find somebody who can come in and kind of do that for us? So I said, hey, listen, let's look at a retired person who could come in and just check what is there, okay, and maybe create a roadmap for you. And then maybe a 2 months, 3 months project, and then after that, he'll hand it over to your IT person, and then your IT team can take it forward from there, whether it is going to the board or convincing, etc., etc. And this was perfect because I then reached out to this particular, individual, and I said, hey, listen, there's this role if you're interested in doing. You don't have the hassle of really executing it. You just need to be an advisor to them. Explain to them that, hey, listen, this is your current IT thing. This is the roadmap. This is where you go forward. 3 months project, start, 3 months, finish. This is really very exciting. The person has accepted. Uh, when you was just mentioning about your dad and your family and etc. So there was this individual, and there was this opportunity, and I was talking to the head of HR, and he was like, Dipali, we need somebody for coming and helping our finance team, but the person needs to come here every day. Do you think a retiree will come to our office site, which is like, I think a few kilometers somewhere in Bangalore, but apparently the very high, in an area where there's a lot of traffic and stuff like that. well, he needs to come and handhold our team. Do you think a retired person will do that? At least for 1 year. And I was a little skeptical because people don't want to get into a full-time role at this stage. I spoke to my execution team, spoke to a few people. Then there was this couple of gentlemen who actually applied. They had their interviews, and then we said that, sir, but this is going to be a full time, and you have to go and all that. So he said, let me talk to my wife because she's the one who's to always complain that you're always out, you're never there. And then after 2 days, he comes back and says, Deepali, I think I want to take this full time role. I said, so what happened? My wife told me, please go at 9 and come back at 5. I mean, though I love you and we love to have you at home, you know, exactly, because I'm sure there must be, things at home where he was also getting bored, right? And he's working there, he's very happy, family happy, organization is very happy. So it was fortunately a win-win, situation for us. So just to give you some, I mean, I can go on and on, because we have placed so many people. We have almost some 200 organizations, that are hiring from us. But yeah, I mean,
No, I think I think that was insightful because it is something that we don't think about, right? I mean, I know that you told me that the average age at Wisdom Circle is less than 30, and I think it's probably the same for Strata as well. And something that we do miss out when we are such young organizations. Look, there are some advantages in the sense that there's the drive, and no one really complains about late nights, but then you do miss out on a lot of generational experience, right? Skills that have been honed and trained simply because the person has been there, done that, and just knows exactly what's going to happen. You will not believe, Deepali, and folks, this will be the last anecdote before we jump into the next bit. Is My father, when he was with the Southern Railways, he was with ICF, which is the coach factory. This is where they made the Vande Bharat trains, right?
wow.
So he was part of the finance division there. And you will not believe, Deepali, the reason CMRL has now hired him as a consultant is because, again, the average age at CMRL is less than 35. And no one in the finance team knows certain things about procurement simply because they haven't done it at the scale that someone at the railways has done. And so now you have this scenario where you have the 60 plus gentleman who's teaching these 30-year-olds on the nuances of procurement, and you would think that a private enterprise would know better, but they don't, because they simply don't have the experience, right? And so my father is like, yeah, I'm just teaching them all that I've learned by working with contractors for the last 30 years, and I can tell them what to expect and what to not expect. And I think that is something that everyone, I think most of our listeners here agree that this is what they would like to contribute, right, when they work for these companies.
Absolutely, Narendra. In fact, you have just reminded me of, like, I again promise this is the last anecdote, but this is one of my favorites, and I have to share this. So there was this organization, a startup. The average age is like 25 years over there also, and they do some very high tech stuff. And so what has happened is the managers over there are themselves around 25 years old, right? So they are great when it comes to the technology part of it, the analysis, and all those stuff that they do. But when it comes to actually managing a younger generation, a set of people who are even younger than them, the programmers and the fresh grads, etc., is something that they would just find.
We seem to have lost Deepali. Let's just give it a few seconds. Deepali, if you can hear us, we've lost connection.
Is back.
Sorry, folks. Weird disconnect. I'm sorry, Deepali. Let's just move on. Yeah.
Sure. So anyway, so at that point of time, we decided to do a grand managers program for this organization. And what do you mean by that is we identified retired senior professionals who've been there and done that from each of the different verticals. Like there was somebody in admin, there was somebody with HR, there was somebody with a finance background. So there is a whole set of 5 to 6 senior people been there, done that, seen the movie, if I could use that parlance, and who could actually work with these managers and not doing anything technical, just working with them on how to manage their teams. Be like a mentor to them, be like an advisor to them, be like a parent, if I could use that word. Just guide them on how to really work with these younger generation or the newer people, how to manage teams, you know and even handhold them with how to manage their seniors, for that matter. you know so that program, which was like a 3-month program, it worked so well that the organization and these managers wanted these grand managers to continue. Grand managers also very excited about it. So the 3 months program has now become a 6-month program. So I mean, these are the kind of things that as a retired person we can really think of doing, wherein you're not really responsible for the execution part, the tiring part of it, but more for the advisor, the mentor, the gray haired go to Bhishma Pitama of the organization.
I think we should move on to the next slide.
Great. So we'll just take you through the process. Amar, do you want to kind of explain how the process of signing up with us works?
Sure. I'll take forward from this. So, hello everyone. So, I'll be taking you through the process of how you can sign up on our platform and create your profile and then start applying to the opportunities. Okay, so I'm sure each and every one of us here must have created an account on Gmail, right? So, the process of signing up on Wisdom Circle is as simple and as easy as you create an account on Gmail. It just comprises of 6 steps, as you can see in this particular slide. First, you have to go to our website, which is www.wisdomcircle.com. I'll also show you how the process looks on a website after this slide. Once you are there on the website, you will see a sign up button on the top right corner of the page. You have to click on the sign up button. Once you click on it, you will be directed to a page where you will be asked whether you are a professional who is looking for a job opportunity or you are a recruiter who are here to hire. So as we all are retirees in this group, so you have to click on professional. In the fourth step, it will ask you to enter your basic details like your name, your contact number, your email address, your age. If you have retired from any armed forces, it will ask you to fill the rank with which you retired. So you can just enter all those details. Additionally, if you have a LinkedIn profile that is complete and that you think has all the information that a website is asking you for, you can also sign up directly through the LinkedIn and it will uh, kind of circumvent the process of manually filling up all the details. Okay, so once you have entered all the details or you have signed up through LinkedIn, you just need to complete your profile for which you can either upload your resume or you can also manually fill all the details about your work experience, about what all projects you have done, your achievements and other things. And once your profile is 100% complete, then you can start applying to the opportunities. So this is how the home page of Wisdom Circle website looks. When you will go to www.wisdomcircle.com, this will be the first thing that you will see. As I mentioned, on the top right hand corner, you will see a sign up button in the yellow background. Once you will click on that, it will ask you whether you are a professional or a recruiter. In our case, we have to select on I am a professional and I'm looking for work opportunities. Once you click on that, it will ask you to fill all your basic details or you can directly sign up through LinkedIn. Now, there are just 2 additional steps that you need to perform here, which is not there in your Gmail account creation process, which is mobile number and email verification. So once you will enter your email and mobile number, it will send an OTP to your mobile number to verify whether the number you have put is correct or not. So just enter your OTP there. Once your mobile number is verified, an email verification link will be sent to your email ID. You just have to click that and your account is created. And this is how the first screen will look once you log in into your platform, into your account, and your account is created. So you can see here that on the left hand side, there are a few filter functions that are given, and on the right hand side, opportunities are given. So as per your preferences, as per maybe you would like to work in a particular locality or a particular city, or maybe you would like to work in a particular sector. So you can just filter the different opportunities using the filter options that we have given on the left side of the screen. And on the right side, in order to know more about the opportunity, the compensation, the location, the type of work the organization requires you to do, you just have to click on the opportunity or you just can click on the explore button that comes along with each opportunity. And in that way, you can go through all the roles that are there on the platform, and then you can also apply once your profile is 100 complete. So this was about the process. Deepali, you can take it from
Right. So I just want to also at this point just show you our actual website. So Amuj, could you just share the actual website, because this is just a
here.
presentation, and then there are more interesting things other than just applying for a role or something on our platform, right?
Yeah, so
So
this
this
is
is
our
the
website.
this is our website, and of course there is a sign up, as Ambuj explained to you that okay, this is to sign up. But then we have also some explanation about what we do and why we do. There are small, just 1 second, Ambuj, could you just go up?
Yeah,
There's a small video over here which I would request everyone to whenever you have time to just see it. This explains as to why really you should be looking for something to do post your retirement, something really meaningful, and something engaging to do post your retirement. It's a very nice video that I would recommend all of you to at least take a look at one. Take a look at least once. Uh, how much could you click on the resources button up here?
yeah.
Yeah. So here we have a lot of blogs, stories, anecdotes of people who have retired and who are engaged in doing something a lot meaningful. There are very interesting stories that one could really read about or listen. uh, just click on resources once more. We just show them all that is there. So there are blogs, there are stories. There's also a video from a founder. When he talks about his experience a little bit. There's a regular newsletter which is there, which you can just start reading, which talks about what we are doing, what are the different opportunities, what are the kind of organizations that are coming to us. Ampusha, we can go down and just slowly scroll through it. So these are some of the wisdom stories. Our team member has actually gone and interviewed them, their experience, etc. It's a very good read for a Sunday.
Very interesting. So, Deepali, I
Okay?
believe you also host webinars and sessions, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, for your members
yeah, yeah.
on,
Absolutely, absolutely. So I was just coming to that.
of course.
So yeah, let's yeah, great. Um, Fantastic. Right. So what you just were talking about, Darren. So what once you enroll or once you sign up, okay,
Hmm.
what happens is we have something called as a program, which is called an engage program. Okay, what
Right.
that means is when you sign up and you've successfully created your account and all that, you need to know a little bit more, because this is something we've never done. I mean, the younger generation can relate to it, but my generation, we struggle with these things. Let me be very frank about it. So here our team actually takes you through, these are the live opportunities. This is the way you can actually, sign up. This is the way you can apply. So we have something called an onboarding that happens to every member who can join this. What we also do is try and get some small, webinars, or we get some speakers to talk about small things like a will. We all know that we need to make a will, but there is a lot more emotional connect, some technical things, some legal matters with it. So we get experts to come and talk about these things. So we're trying to engage the whole community it, about retirement, right? So it's not only just about finding. First, you need to find something engaging for yourselves, but there are small other things. Some inspirational speaker who comes and tells you why he is engaged, how he is engaged, what is he or she doing, so it is some finance related stuff. So these things keep happening a lot, right? So I would recommend, I mean, even if you just to sign up and attend some of these, it just makes you feel great that you're part of a greater community. So yes, this happens once a fortnight.
Amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
So I just also want to talk about you about some of the opportunities that are already listed on our platform. Amuj, could we go back to that slide? So I'm just going to, hang out here for a couple of seconds and just have people to take a look at the kind of things that are there. So like you can see, it's all about, monitoring, or content creation or consultant or advisor, you know,
Very
some very
interesting.
techie things,
Yeah.
very techie things like HVDC projects,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but you can move to the next slide. And here are some of our placed WisGen. And I'm again going to stop and let people take a quick look and read.
I find Miss Piali Sen's statement to be very true, because this is something that I have heard of course, right? That there is a bias as you grow older, and companies are hesitant to take someone on board, because, and it's because they're worried of their culture, they're worried of how long is this person going to be around with us. So I think what Wisdom Circle is doing by creating a platform where it is very clear, both to recruiters and to people applying, that this is for retirees, it feels a need until regular HRs get over their own self biases against hiring older people.
Yes. So a part of our job is also to explain to them, educate the recruiters, the talent acquisition people as they are called now. We used to call them recruiters and
Yeah,
talent acquisition people, that yeah, there is a need and we can solve a problem for you. And there are these people who can solve your problem. You just have to open your mind to it. And
right.
organizations have been receptive. And let me tell you that they're like,
Hmm.
oh great, this is a Eureka moment for us. And why didn't I think of it earlier?
Yeah,
So yes, they're definitely open.
amazing.
Pamut, you want to take the next slide?
Oh, I did want to stop here and maybe talk a little bit more about Wisdom Circle's affiliation with the Defense Forces, right? Because I did see that you are specifically looking out for people from the armed forces. Is there a specific reason for that? And how does Wisdom Circle specifically handle ex-armed forces?
Yeah. So actually, this also again started the same way. So we work with the retired or the veterans, and when organizations do think about veterans, typically it is only for security or admin or something like that. But these people do have a lot of experience doing a lot of different things, and they can be a part of the civilians as well. So organizations probably had not thought of this, or were probably thinking about it, but they didn't know how to go and reach out to these veterans. So whether it's technology, whether it's some digital work, etc., the Indian Air Force, the Indian Army is way ahead of the corporate world. Let us know that. Let me tell you that. And that is the reason we realize that we should look at these veterans and maybe help them find jobs into the civilian world. And at the same time, tell organizations that, hey, listen, there are these veterans who can go beyond just doing security and admin. They can really play a big part in your technical roles as well. And that's how we started a vertical which is dedicated to the veterans. We have tie-ups with the associations with the Indian Navy, with the armed forces, where they can actually sign up on our platform. We conduct regular webinars for them as well to onboard them on our platform. And when we talk to organizations, we always put on that hat and say, hey, listen, is this a role that a veteran can fill in? And just to give an example, Narendra, there was this organization who wanted to do a project which was very important. A government project was given to them in Leh. Okay. And it's a high altitude, there's snow, and it's a very difficult terrain. And they said, oh, we want somebody from the Indian Army because the Indian Army understands how to do work over there. The climatic conditions and everything. And we were able to find somebody for them. Narendra, you're again on mute.
I was just saying that that is amazing, because it is the need of the hour, because most people in the armed forces do muster out by the time they're 45 or 50. Very few of them actually continue serving all the way till they're 60. Most of them quit much longer, much before that. So yeah, it is very important for them to be placed in roles which are fulfilling, right? Like you said,
Yes,
they're stereotyped into being security and office administration and management. They can do so much more.
so much.
Yeah.
Sure. So, and on this subject, we also have a tie-up with the Coaching Institute or the Coaching Foundation of India, right?
Hmm.
And this is something again very interesting, because if you want to become a mentor or a coach, it helps to go and get yourself certified as a coach, do their training program, get certified, because then it happens so that the organizations are also, very enthusiastic about hiring somebody who knows how to coach
Hmm.
vis-a-vis somebody who is just wanting to coach,
Right.
so that's the difference. So we have a tie-up with the Coaching Foundation. We also have tie-ups with the alumni associations, the
Hmm.
IIT Mumbai alumni and the IIT Chennai alumni associations. Again, because that helps those people who have been technically very proficient to come back, and they also want to kind of give back to their own professions. So
Fantastic.
we do have these small tie-ups there.
Got it. I think we can move on.
No worries. So some of the FAQs, which we just thought we just keep getting all the
Of course.
time. Yeah. So how is Wisdom Circle different from the other online platforms? So number one, Wisdom Circle is exclusively for people who are 50 and above. Okay. So it's the largest platform in India today, only for retirees. Okay, we do not have people, or we do not encourage people who are anything less than 50 to be on the platform, because there really will not be anything there for them. And that is our main differentiation. I mean, other than that, yes, of course, it's easy to operate. Ambuj and his team is always there. You can just give them a call. They're more than happy to help you through the process, signing up, everything. So, Ambuj, can we go to the next one? What's the process and the fees involved? Process is something that Ambuj just took you through. So it's a very simple process to sign up. Even if you find it's very difficult, call up the number. One of our team members will be more than happy to help you through the whole onboarding process. There is no fees at all for coming on board or signing up, or actually taking away reading any of our articles, etc. on the website. Our Engage program also, there are certain programs there which may have a very minuscule fee, but most of them are also free.
But Mali, are there any fees for actually placing candidates into a company?
Right. So what happens is there is a fee that we take from the organizations.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So they have to pay us for putting up an opportunity
Right.
on the platform. Sometimes some organizations would expect that the hiring fee be shared with the candidate.
Hmm.
Those are very few, but there are a few which then they would say that oh, can you take the 10% fee from the from the placed candidate? But
Right.
that is very upfront and put there on the platform, that and when we even discuss the role with you, we will tell you that this organization expects you to share the hiring fee.
Right.
If you want, we can go ahead. If you don't want, let's not go ahead with it. So
Understood.
that's very, very transparent.
Understood. But there is no circumstance where you're simply taking money from them without before they're placed into a role, right? There's no like sign up fee or nothing of that sort. Yeah.
Nothing. Signing
Yeah.
up is totally free.
Yeah.
Absolutely free.
Yeah, and even when you get placed, most of the time you are charging the recruiter and not the candidate directly.
Yes,
And
not the candidate.
and very few
Sometimes.
organizations might take a commission out of it. But even then, there is no circumstance where someone is putting up money upfront. That is not happening.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
Yeah.
No money upfront at all, ever. The
Yeah.
only thing is, even if the organization is expecting you to share the service fee, it will be told to you upfront, like a number of times, and consent is taken that do you still want to go ahead with this?
Yeah.
And only when they want to go ahead with it, we will go ahead with it. And in my
Fantastic.
experience, also, Narendra, a couple of organizations initially, because they were skeptical, said that, oh, we should do it. But when they found the right person, they said, hey, forget it. We are going to pay the entire service fee. We don't
Amazing.
want our WisGen program. So that happens. But again, I mean, as a disclaimer, there are a few organizations, we will alert you, but no upfront fee at all.
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's move to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you do my hand holding to include resume building and upskilling me? We will definitely hand hold you to, put up your resume on the platform. We will not at this stage do any upskilling, but we do have a service, a small paid service, if you want to specifically build your resume, right? So if you want me or my colleague to actually work on your CV and then, clean it up for you and then make it like really beautiful, then there is a service that we provide which is independent. So you can avail of that service if anybody requires it.
Fantastic.
Okay. This is an important one. Do you have any say with the respect to the compensation? The way we do it is we talk to the organization and we ask them, okay, what are you willing to pay? right? If we feel that the organization is really paying very less amount, we tell them upfront that, hey, nobody's going to come at this amount, right? We have, given the experience that we've had, we can always tell them that this is the fair amount. Having said that, the organizations, when they list a particular role, they will mention we want to pay, or the compensation is say 2 lakhs per month, or 1 lakh per month, or we say 3,000 rupees per hour, whatever it is. That is visible to a WisGen when they're applying.
Fantastic.
Right?
Got it.
Yeah. So if you're okay with the compensation, only then you should apply. If you feel that this compensation is not enough for me, please do not apply. Right? Or have a conversation with my execution team and say, hey, listen, I'm happy to with this compensation, but if an organization could pay something, see, we are very transparent about this. We do not want to get into that process where we are, really haggling about the compensation. And finally, see, we are a platform at the end of the day. We
Right.
will not really get into between you and the organization. What happens?
Yeah.
Right. So we really don't have so much say in per se in the compensation. Why do we get to see a good number of hybrid remote jobs on the platform? Again, the reason is our WisGen want to work from home. They don't really want to go into the hassle of traffic and the commute and everything. That's the reason we try and get as many remote, or sometimes there are hybrid roles. And hybrid means that you have to once in a while visit the organization in their office or maybe at a site. Basically,
Amazing.
that's
Yeah.
that from my side.
Yeah.
Yes, Arun.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Deepali. And folks, you have started to put questions on the Q&A. Please continue doing so, and we'll pick them up from the Q&A section. We do have a hard stop just before 12 because this account needs to be used by other members of the Strata team. So I'll just jump straight into the questions. Mr. Prabhu Pawar is asking, is it limited only to Strata members? Is it open for spouses, partners? Prabhu, Wisdom Circle is not affiliated with Strata directly. They are a separate entity altogether, their own business. So feel free to tell anyone you know who is interested in joining Wisdom Circle to go to their platform and sign up. So that is not an issue at all. Mr. Arun is asking, can we look at opportunities before signing up to check their relevance to an individual's aspirations? Deepali, maybe you can take this.
Right. Good morning, Mr. Arun. Thank you so much for your question. The thing is that we have some sample opportunities that we just put up. But ideally, if you sign up, you get to know the live opportunities that are there. So ideally, you should sign up and only then look at the opportunities, because then you know what is the status of that opportunity also, whether it's live, whether it's like closed. So I would recommend very highly to please sign up. Signing up is free. It's very simple. And then you look at the live opportunities.
Yeah,
There's
so
no
it's
thing
just like
associated with it. Yeah.
So it's like a job board, right? You sign up and you will be able to see all the opportunities that are open, and you can read them, figure
Exactly.
out, and then you can apply.
You can quickly apply, and once you apply, there are so many things that happen. Then you get somebody from our office will call you,
Right.
explain the opportunity to you and all that. So that it's always great to sign up, and then you can see the opportunities.
Fantastic.
I would just like to add one thing to this. So you do not need to complete your profile in order to see the opportunities. So even if your profile is not complete, but you just have signed up, you will be able to see all the opportunities.
Fantastic. Thank you. So next question, Kazim is asking, do organizations take retired candidates for online work?
Yes, Kazim. Great question. Yes, organizations do take retirees for doing work online. It could be something like, content building for them. It could be something like online marketing. There's a lot of opportunities that happen, some tech stuff. So yeah,
Fantastic.
Naren, you
Fantastic.
wanted to add something to that?
No, but I do have a question. What I noticed is a lot of the jobs that I saw, right? They seem to be very high end, if that is the right way to put it. Like, for example, it is for someone who has deep technical knowledge in HDVC, like we saw, or someone who's rather senior roles, right? Like this is probably for someone who was a director or who was a VP or a CXO at a company. But are there roles for people who, retired at far lower designations? But in no way any less capable.
Sure. Yes, 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 Narendra. There are those roles as well there on the platform. Somebody who can just do MIS, or who can, just do a SAP implementation, or a more SAP module implementation.
Right.
Those kinds of roles also do exist.
Hmm.
There were some teaching roles also, I think, which are closed
Yeah.
right now, but I'm sure they will come up. So there are those kinds of roles as well. So yeah, there are roles at a mid level. There are roles at senior levels. Different
Fantastic.
roles.
Fantastic. Yeah. Mr. Venkatesh is asking, what if someone wants to pursue a new field unrelated to the current field of work? That's an interesting question. How do you tackle that? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very interesting, Venkatesh. Thank you. So see, people are going to hire you if you have the knowledge, right? Whether you're retired or whether you're not retired. Okay, so you're being hired only for your knowledge, right? People are not going to hire you because you want to experiment at their expense,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, if you want to pursue a new field and you have some kind of where they say that yes, you can come and try different things over here. So definitely, but you need to have some knowledge about it. You can't just like go and start and learn at the organization. You were saying something?
No, no, no.
Oh,
We're good. So we just have one last question. Can we join from an overseas location? A lot of our customers are NRIs, so I'm guessing that's where this is coming from.
sure, sure. I understand that. So, Kato, thank you for your question. See, you could be overseas and you could apply for a position in India, which is possible, definitely possible. Currently, our platform is only India. We are planning to take it, overseas. We have a few locations in mind. So, currently, as of now, we do not have organizations based outside the country on our platform. But yes, there are candidates who are based outside, like in the US, etc. If your time zone permits, definitely you can apply for these positions. Definitely. There's nothing that's
Fantastic. And I think we don't have any more questions, and we are close to uh, our time limit. So I just want to close this off by first thanking everyone who signed up and joined us today. Thank you so much. I hope you found this event to be insightful and helpful. For me, it definitely was. Uh, and folks, if you want to sign up to on Wisdom Circle, the contact was there, so you simply have to go to wisdomcircle.com, and you can just start from there. And as I mentioned before, please do share this with anyone you feel who could benefit from this. Thank you so much, Deepali and Ambuj, for taking the time out on a Saturday to join us. I think everyone today got a lot of value out of what we discussed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Narendran. Thanks, Samboj.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, friends, for actually hearing me out. And I really
No,
hope this session was useful to you.
yeah, I for sure found it very, very helpful. Thank you so much, Deepali and Ambuj. That's it. All right. Thank you, folks. Have a great day. Bye bye.